Thank you. Yeah, well, it will be a hard panel to beat after David. Thank you so much for the blessing and song. Thank you so much. Okay, so I guess we are the last panel, but you will see a different. All right. Oh, okay. A different angle. You've seen the industry companies and representatives from the regulatory, which is a part of the INCD, etc. And now you're going to meet the other side, the startups. So, first of all, my name is Haim Litvak, as you heard. I'm a director of project and systems at the INCD, part of the technological unit. And on top of the different projects in OT and ICS cybersecurity, I'm, as you heard, responsible for the ICNL, which is the ICS Cybersecurity National Lab in Beersheba. For those who did not have the time to see it, you can visit the website of the lab, which is icnl.gov.il. On top of that, if you visit it, there's a special, a newsletter that is coming every 2 weeks. Includes technology stuff, and so you can read it. For the English speakers, the site supports both English and Hebrew, so you can enjoy it as well. Okay, that's speaking about me. Let me invite our panelists to the stage. We have Oleg Vusiker, who is the CTO and co-founder of Salvador. Please welcome Oleg. Amir Gil, who is the CRO of SIGA OT, Chief Revenue Officer for those who are missing it. Dr. Leonid Cooperman, who is the co-CEO and co-founder of IXDen. And last but not least, Einat Shmueli Gabay, who is the Information Security and Privacy Specialist from Claroty. Okay, I will give the panelists their chance to speak about themselves a bit and about their company. But first, just saying, today's session will focus about the challenges of the ICT OT cybersecurity from the Israeli startups' point of view. We will try to touch different angles, technological, market challenges, adaptations, innovation, etc. But we'll get into it. Okay, panelists, if each and everyone could, of course, Einat, you go first. Use the mic. Tell us a bit about yourself and the company.
Okay. I'll talk about Claroty first, which is a New York-based company. It's founded by Israeli members. It's about protecting OT and also medical devices around the world. We are already working in 22 different countries. We have over 1,000 customers, which are, some of them are conglomerates, some of them are well-based chains of hospitals, and so on and so forth. Our main product is IXDen, which actually provides protection for IoT and IMOT infrastructure with the ability to not only recognize and find vulnerabilities and weaknesses in the IMOT infrastructure, but also to recommend mitigation and how to fix those vulnerabilities. About myself, I come from the from the advocative side. I'm a lawyer. I used to have a criminal practice for about 12 years. Then I decided to focus more on privacy issues. There was no CISOs back then, and I was practically providing the service of complying or guiding companies towards compliance with privacy rules, and later on also with regulations like ISO and NIST and SOC 2 and SWIFT and so on and so forth. As of today, not as of today, but I am today the information security and privacy specialist of Claroty, and I'm very proud to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Einat. Leonid, please share with us.
Hi, my name is Leonid Cooperman. I am from IXDen. IXDen is a startup company, relatively young, around 5 years old, I believe, that is dealing with cybersecurity for OT environments in a very different way. We are focusing on the sensor data, and we are actually protecting the sensor data. Approach to the cybersecurity is different, and instead of standard measures of cybersecurity, we are modeling the behavior of the sensor data and trying to catch changes in its behavior forced by, for example, attacker. Another part of the story that the company has the product of the company has dual targets, because the very same information we are collecting from the sensors and able to model its behavior, the very same information also allows us to recognize deviations in the equipment behavior, for example, or in the processes behavior. This is the technology part, and again, we are from one side collecting information from the lowest levels, from the sensors, and from the other side, the process itself, it's dedicated and specialized AI modeling and machine learning to catch deviation in the sensor data behavior. Our customer base is actually many organizations here in Israel. The biggest customer is Claroty. You have seen Claroty in the previous sessions. There are other water, electricity, and power industry companies in Israel and outside Israel that we are already serving in production.
Great. Amir, to you.
Thank you. My name is Amir Gil. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer of SIGA. In SIGA, we are focusing on cyber OT detection, and we do it in a very unique way. We are looking into the process from level 0 and up in the Purdue module, applying multi-layer machine learning algorithms, and we do that in a very unique way. First of all, we're looking at the electricity between the PLC and the asset, between the sensor and actuators and the PLC. We are duplicating the electrical signal and converting it to data. And over time, we are learning what is the normal behavior of the process. We're looking into the process. I'm a process engineer, so it's really close to my education. And with that, after we learn the normal behavior of the process, we can alert on anomalies. And additional to that, we're looking also at data from layer 1, 2, 3, or 4, from the PLC directly, or from the HMI, or from the database of the HMI, and comparing it to what's happening in the physical layer in layer 0. And by that, we can identify the most maybe dangerous type of attack in the cyber OT, which is the false data injection, the known Stuxnet 15 years ago that is back. According to Georgia Tech, it's really used today as well by many adversaries. So by that, learning the process itself and what is the normal behavior and comparing to higher layers, we can identify very accurately cyber attacks on the OT.
Last but not least, Oleg.
Hi. So my name is Oleg, and I'm the CTO and the co-founder of Salvador Technologies. We provide instant restoration for OT ICS systems. We are the first vendor in the world that focuses on cyber recovery in OT ICS environment. We have an innovative solution, a patented one, that can provide 30 seconds recovery from an air-gapped backup. I'm from the IDF, from a lead cybersecurity unit called Matzov. It's the Israeli NSA, and have more than 10 years experience in protecting critical national infrastructures.
Just to add, we have very nice integrations also with Claroty. We are complementary in many ways, and we work in more than 10 countries around the world. Some of our customers were here in the former panel, like ICL.
Great. This is what I want to emphasize. We have heard the customers. Now we are hearing the startups that are going to give either the services or the products to solve the big thing. As I mentioned before, collaboration is everything, both from industry side, government, academia, whatever. Okay, let's go to the first question. As we all have heard, operation technology environments present unique technological challenges compares to IT. Although you have seen collaboration of IT OT, still OT is a very unique environment. Can you discuss or state out a special challenge, a technological challenge that your company have encountered, and what or how did you address at your company this challenge? You want to take it first, Oleg? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So one of the major challenges, as you all know, is legacy systems. I think you will not meet a lot of companies that need to write code on Windows XP. We are one of them. So despite the fact that we need to be innovative, we still need to support those legacy systems. So we hire dedicated experts in order to do it. And today we already support Windows XP Service Pack 3, but not Service Pack 1 and 2. It's still on progress because it's really challenging. So this is the major challenge that we're dealing today. Another thing is agent installation. You cannot install agents in OT environment, in many of them. So we had to develop an agentless version without requirement of agent installation. So those are the main two challenges, and we are dealing with both of them successfully.
So the way we are doing our detection in level 0 requires us to connect to the electricity. And that's sometimes a challenge, more of, let's say, a cultural challenge, because engineers in the OT, they want continuity of the process. This is the main concern. And we had to prove to them that when we are connecting to the electricity, we do not interfere with the process. So we use, the way we met the challenge is we use only certified, well-known components to do that by the big, let's say, manufacturer of automation control. And also we have one of them as our investor, which is Phoenix Contact. So it gives a kind of credibility and trust with the engineers. So they allow us to touch the electricity. Another challenge is process orientation. Is sometimes you need maintenance windows, so they will allow you to connect. In the higher levels of Purdue model, there is always a challenge of if you want to connect, you need to get access as port mirroring or to OPC servers. This is also a security challenge in a way, not only technology. And you were talking about legacy. We solve this problem by connecting to the electricity. So we don't mind what type of PLC is it. Is it 40 years old or is it 10 years old? But when you're connecting to different OPC or mod buses, there are many variations. It's kind of a chaotic world. So this is quite a challenge. You need to know, you need to learn, you need to be compatible.
Thank you. Challenges are a bit similar. The approach to resolve them is probably different. our decision was to implement the solution without any additional hardware and without any change in the customer hardware, nothing at all. No additional ports, no additional networks, no additional hardware, nothing at all. So with this approach, what we need, solution could be either with both options are supporting today, could be either agent-based or agentless, and for agent-based solutions, we are supporting today majority of the vendors, of the PLC vendors, Siemens, Schneider, ABB, Rockwell, Motorola, I probably forgot some others. This is the one side of the story, so agent is software-only agent. The other side, and we have heard about it a lot during this day, the networks we are living in are mostly isolated, air-gapped today. So when we are talking about fully fledged AI solution, we need a different approach to AI that does not require cloud facilities. AI that is able to live within the operational network with a relatively standard computer environment and without all the features provided by Amazon or Google or whoever provides them. So those are major changes in technology and major achievements we have in this area. As a result, again, of the approach, zero change in the existing customer environment, regardless of the age of the environment or complexity of it.
Okay. Sorry. Einat, I would like to ask you another question. Is how do you balance the need for rapid innovation in your company or startup with the conservative nature of the critical infrastructure companies as we see them? They have their challenge and legacy, but we are speaking more of the spirit, which is, something that is working, do not touch. And most important thing is continuity of processes. So can you give an example of how you navigated your solution into this kind of environment?
Sure. Not as opposed to, but as a complement to other OT or infrastructure preservance and protection, we wanted in Claroty to provide our customers with an end solution. That means we wanted to provide them with a tool that already knows what are the suspected or possible vulnerabilities, viruses, malware, whatever you call it, that can malfunction and practically destroy the whole environment. Let's say you are in a hospital. All the devices are connected to Wi-Fi today, from MRI systems and some inhalations and X-rays, and everything is connected now to the internet. We wanted to provide with a protection against malware and, of course, data leakage. And obviously, those environments, those hospitals or our customers are very conservative and protective of their environment. What we wanted to do is to dive in and research for almost all possible and continue with research of all possible malware and viruses which can harm the environment. And while other tools need some adjustment time, they need to sit around and be connected to all the environment in order to learn it, adjust to it, and actually detect any abnormality. We wanted to come with a solution first. Without having some adjustment time, we wanted to come and from day one be able to detect any malware or any weaknesses. And in addition to that, we also need to be aware and be ready for new malware or new harmful ways to defect or install this environment. So we had to dive in and do a very deep research in order to be ready for those kind of malware and weaknesses, and not only to learn them by learning the complete environment, and that would take some adjustment time. So in order to convince hospitals to let Claroty in, what we did was provide them with the maximum security and safety tools when it comes to regulations, when it comes to privacy legislation, when it comes to our environment. Everything is very secured and also backed up, so that in case there will be some kind of failure from our side, it would all be backed up. We will be able to detect it first and in a very minimal time, and respond to it very quickly. So this is what we did. We actually raised, from one hand, our cybersecurity defense to ensure minimum compromisation or minimum of adjustment time, and the other thing was to learn beforehand the industry which we're getting into, if it's industrial or if it's medical. We did a very deep inside search, and this is how we come to them, and we provide them, one hand, with a very vast security, and on the other hand, with a very vast knowledge of the possible weaknesses they might have.
Great. I heard backup, so it just jumped to me. Oleg, can you connect your challenges on your world to your customers?
Okay, so backup you cannot do without any kind of software, so you must run a software in your environment. So sometimes people are afraid to do it. They're afraid to run software in their environment. And again, what we can provide is a hardware solution with an agentless component with it you don't need to install, and that's why you don't need to hurt the warranty of your OT equipment. We have here a representative, for example, from Schneider Electric. So one of the challenges to install backups and recovery in Schneider Electric systems is to install agents. So this is how we solve it today. Another thing that we are doing in order to get trust from the OT operators is to do long period POCs. First, what we are doing is testing our backup and recovery capabilities in lab environment, and we're doing it for a long time, sometimes even for one month or 2 months, until we are getting the trust of the OT operators to install it in the production-sensitive environment. So this leads to a long sales process, but on the other hand, that's the way we can work in this conservative market and building trust with the OT operators.
So you're talking about challenges between, let's say, the innovation and the industry we're in, which is very, very conservative. Okay, so we're trying to deal with it in two main ways. One is to make sure that our, let's say, young guys that are doing the algorithms, let's say the most advanced development today, you know, AI, algorithms, these guys, these freaks, these
the data scientists.
Nerds, these data scientists, they are exposed face-to-face with the industry. That means we take them to customers to make sure they understand the complexity of the environment we work in and what is important to them, the continuous operations, and also, you know, the hybrid environments. Sometimes it's fully air-gapped. Sometimes they allow us to work in the cloud. As Leonid mentioned, we needed to develop the system to be autonomous on an IPC, industrial PC, somewhere in the desert or somewhere to do machine learning and AI without the cloud. That's also a requirement that these algorithm guys that are used to use AWS or Azure to do all the computing, they have to do it now on a very simple machine, on-prem. Still on-prem, yeah. The second thing we do is we use subject matter experts to each vertical to make sure that we understand the customer needs. Is it power? Is it water? Is it data centers? We use subject matter experts.
Yes, there is a built-in contradiction between the agile nature of the startup and the industry areas we are living in, critical infrastructure, utilities, manufacturing of large organizations in large organizations. So the problem is clear and well known. What we are doing with this? First of all, there are a few things. First of all, because we are coming also from the security side, you need to convince the customer that you are not bringing new security holes in a very simple way. So you have to do pen tests on your own software, on your own environment, and you need to encourage the customer to do pen tests on some lab or pilot environment using your software. This is the first step we are doing. And the second step probably more relates to the second side. I would say more relates to the sales process and this part of the story. We are providing potential customers with ability to order POC or some kind of assessment service, which does not require any involvement, any installation, more or less nothing from the customer side. But from the other side, the customer gets an impression of what would be the result of the project of IXDen, would this project be installed on the customer environment. So slow processes, slow rollouts. Today in Mekorot, we are in 3,000 water sites, but it took some time to do it.
Great. As you are all Israeli startups, would I ask, how do you see your biggest challenge of being an Israeli startup penetrating the global ICS OT cybersecurity market? How is your company addressing it? Okay, you'll take it first.
I think the main challenge is creating the trust with the customer abroad is a process. Even in Israel, as Leonid said, takes time because of the nature of this industry. And in order to do that, in direct sales, you need a lot of capital. That means you have to put people in all the territories. And in our industry, it's a challenge. Still, there are not huge investment like in Claroty. It's seldom. You don't see that much. So we are dealing with it by adopting a model of working with channels. And by that, basically, kind of taking the cost of sale together with the channel. Okay, so they have a cost of sale and we have a cost of sale. So it makes it easier to penetrate, and they also have the trust relations with the end customers. This is the main challenge.
Yeah, so I also want to emphasize the channel approach. For example, we are operating in Turkey, and as you all know, there are some tensions in Turkey. So what we are doing, we're using a partner in Turkey in order to sell our product. And this partner is also working with other Israeli vendors, so he already knows Hebrew. But what we are doing with him is co-sales together, and the partner is in front of the customer, and this is one way to solve it. Another thing that we are doing, we are more focusing on markets which are more friendly to Israel, such as the US market or Singapore market or any other market that are more friendly to Israelis and know well how to work with Israelis at this stage.
To join I would actually join each one of those answers. That's exactly what we're doing. We're trying to overcome the cultural and behavioral gaps between us and other countries and other regions by actually having a vast employee or sales capital all over the world. Actually, in any region we're trying to penetrate to or expand in. We're also using partners, and one of the things we learned make our customers feel very comfortable is choosing their own site, their own AWS region, which is local. That also provides us with actually complying with the local laws of data. That means that no local data leaves the country. This is on the one hand, and on the other hand, what we also do, and that also answers the former question, is we provide with our customers with servers which are on-prem, and they collect all the information, all the packets, while it's on-prem in the hospital or any other industry. And that means that they're able to see that nothing leaks out, or if there is any malfunction, it happens on an on-prem environment. From the on-prem environment installed in the client's premise, we transmit the packets to our tools, and that means that if any leakage happens or anything happens, it should happen already on the first phase of the localization trafficking, and it doesn't happen, almost never happens later on. And just like I said, we try and talk the language of safety, of security, of privacy, and that also often helps.
Yeah, please.
Just to add, from our experience, to bring technology from Israel, it's a good door opener. So usually, at least you can catch the first attention of the customer, saying that you are a high-tech company, estimated high-tech company coming from Israel. From this point on, the things are coming and going to be much harder, because in majority of the places, the customer is looking for local reference. Local reference means two things. First of all, in the same country. The second place is from the same vertical. And you need to have a lot of references in order to penetrate new area and go to the new country. When it is coming to your hand, this is working. So the second customer in Italy was, as an example, was much, much easier to get than the first one.
Interesting. Looking ahead, what emerging trends, technologies, and of course the ICS cybersecurity arena, you think will present the greatest opportunity or challenges? How you can see it coming in the coming 3 to 5 years from now?
I will start with a challenge. We're seeing a lot of OT manufacturers that are going to encrypt the protocols between the PLC and the HMI, and this will provide a big challenge to the IDS companies that need to read the protocols. I think this is both an R&D and security challenges. For us, it's a kind of opportunity as well, because we're not dependent on the protocols. We're reading the electricity in level 0, so we will still continue to do what we do and provide visibility to the physical layer and can compare it to what's going on in the HMI. Continue to do what we do. I think for Claroty and the competitors, this is going to be a big challenge.
Oleg, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so what we are seeing is more and more virtualization, more and more virtual machines, less physical machines in OT environment, specifically in the more in the newer equipment, if you're buying a newer equipment, you will probably prefer to buy it virtualized. Well, from security perspective, is a great challenge, because if you have all your VMs running on a single storage, single server, and we're seeing it a lot recently, it's a great challenge, because you have all the eggs in one bucket. If your hypervisor, for example, if your ESXi has a vulnerability, all the VMs will be hacked altogether. And in order to guarantee the survivability of those systems, you must have a proper cyber recovery and backups in place.
The OT industry now, in our view, is going through a number of significant trends and changes in the next few years. The first part I would like to mention, because it was already mentioned here, changes are coming into the world of PLCs and RTUs themselves. They are, as an opposite to the rest of the technology world, are becoming closer and closer and closer. They are leaving less and less space for a development part to live in. So for us, this means today, for example, that we are living by the narrowest standard, and Haim was actually part of this story, like how we moved to the narrowest standard of the development that's available in this environment, commonly available in this environment. This is one part of the story. So they are trying, vendors are trying to protect their devices. This is obviously the trend. The second part of the story relates to attempt to use the data, which requires machine power, which requires machine learning, which requires AI, and on-prem, this is a very limited, usually, and costly way to implement such devices. Again, we are supporting and doing it right now, but customers are starting to think about how to externalize the data, together with some sorts of anonymization and other measures, of course.
I think in 3 to 5 years, we'll all have to handle the emerging AI capabilities, both in all the industries, and the same when it comes to malware and attacks. I guess we'll all have to accelerate the learning process, the protection process, development process. I think our competitors will surely give us a fight. And I think it would be mostly AI, and also I think there's a certain lift off the ground technical aspiration, as in less on-prem, less devices which are connected to electricity, or I think it would be more of an AI approach, more of a less investigative or less intrusive to the body techniques when it comes to the medical industry. And that would surely will have to have us accelerate our processes.
Great. As you heard, we are coming to tackle from cybersecurity side, the cloud, the AI, machine learning, all the buzzwords that are out there. And if you think, okay, we are on the OT ICS, segregated, would not go out and be inside. So I guess it won't be a thing. You know, it was said that if you are not getting adaptable, you are distinct. So even this traditional industry will have to go forward. So I want to to thank each and every one of you who joined us. Of course, all the panelists that shared their thought and experience with us. And have a great day and a conference, and enjoy. Thank you so much.